Hey guys, welcome back. How are you? I hope you all are good and doing well. So, in the last lecture, we added request limit for the user so that they can perform only certain requests within their uh, specific duration. Okay, now in this lecture, we will not implement anything, but we will understand what is init command in the Claude. Okay, and what it does and how useful it is. Okay, so let's go to the Claude terminal and let's write slash init. Okay, and you can see it initialize a new Claude.md file with code based documentation. So it generally creates a technical overview of your project. Okay, and we are doing it right now because I mean we are doing it now after creating the user authentication feature in story generation feature and image prompt generation feature and so on, because we want a solid documentation. And so it's initialize a new Claude.md file with a code based documentation so that this documentation can be reused in future context, so that Claude know that what your project is doing and what your project is about, so that it can uh, consider this documentation for further implementation. Okay, so let's proceed with it. So we provided slash init, so this is a command. Okay, and this command will create a project documentation for our project. Okay, I mean this our story maker app. So let's wait for this. So you can see that we Claude has generated some response. Okay, and let's go through this response from initial. So you can see that it has created a Claude.md. This file provides a guidance to the Claude code or Claude.a code when working with the code in this repository. So start all process rails server tailwind and something like that. So it is commands and then code flow. Okay, then rate limiting key files, key feature and so on. So let's say yes, and we will see review this file into the code base. Okay, so now it is saying, so it has created Claude.md converting. Okay, you can see commands and architecture and key files table and turbo convention. These are the four sections that it has created into that project documentation. Now go to the project, and here you can see it has created it into the rules file. So let's go to the Claude.md, and here you can see this file provides a guidance to the Claude when working with the code in this repository, and what are the development commands to work in this project. So bin dev to install start all processes rails server plus tailwind watcher, or individually rails server rails tailwind watch. Okay, if you don't want to use bin dev, then you need to use two terminals where you can run rails server and rails tailwind watch independently. Okay, and then database, so rails db migrate rails db schema load, and then run test. So rails test model user test.rv. For example, we have only user test.rv for now. Okay, and you can see rails console, linting security, robocop, brakeman. It just uses Cloud uses internally while generating the code and all. Okay, and credentials, the Anthropic API key is stored into the rails encrypted credential. Okay, and if you want to use if you want to edit this, so you can run this command rails credentials edit. Okay, and you can how you can access this Anthropic API key within your code. So rails.application.credential.anthropic API key, and now this is the architecture stack. So this is the take stack. So Rails 8, Postgres SQL, Hotwired with Turbo plus Stimulus, Tailwind CSS, import map, solid queue for background job. Okay, and code flow is like user submits a prompt. So like how code is working, so user submits a prompt, storage controller creates saves a story status and so on. And then you can see, so here we can see a clear gap that it directly starts with user submits a prompt. Okay, but it doesn't starts with the thing like user need to be authenticated into the system first. Okay, so let's ask Claude to update this. So for example, go to the Claude terminal and say I was reviewing this, and in the code flow section, I realized a gap. I realized a gap that documentation is not mentioning that user need to be authenticated first in order to use the story feature. So we provided this. I was reviewing this, and in the code flow section, I realized a gap that documentation is not mentioning that user need to authenticate it first in order to use the story feature. Okay, so code flow. So it has added all story features require authentication. A story controller has before action authenticate user device on every action. Unauthenticated users are redirected to sign in. Okay, so do we want to make this edit to the cloud.md? So yes, because we need this. Otherwise, this document seems incomplete because the first requirement in order to create stories, generating image prompts or enhancing image prompts, user must be signed in into the system. Okay, so here you can see this is the step 0. So all users require authentication. Story controller has a before action authenticate user. On every action, unauthenticated requests are redirected to sign in. Okay, user submits a prompt. uh, Stories controller saves a story, something like that, and story generation job called the Claude service dot generated story update story to completed or failed. The show page auto refreshes via meta http while status in blah blah blah. So you can remit that. Okay, now let's come to the main point: rate limiting. Users tracks daily limit request and last request date, reset daily count if needed, auto resets on first access of a new calendar day. The limit is checked by before action check request limit in stories controller for create, generate image prompts and enhance image prompt. Buttons are disabled in the UI when the limit is reached. Okay, now the key files, file and purpose. So the key files, however there are so many files, but key files like that are more about. Okay, so service app services cloud service.rb. So all cloud API calls contains a system prompts as constant, and app job story generation job.rb async story generation, then image prompt generation, and stories image prompt.html.erb, and partial and the request counter html.erb, app javascript controller clipboard controller js, so copy to clipboard function, something like that. If you think that there should be more key files, like for example stories controller, then you can add that as well. Okay, let's ask Claude that why it did not consider the user model and the story model or the stories controller into the key files. So let's ask this to the Claude. So why you did not consider the user model, story model and stories controller as key files? Is there any reason? So let's ask this to Claude. So what we are asking that why you did not consider the user model, story model and stories controller as key files. Is there any reason? So here you can see no strong reason. I was trying to keep the table focused on files that are not obvious from their names alone. Models and controllers are what the most Rails application developers look at first, so I skipped them. But that's the wrong call here because all three have non-trivial logic worth flagging upfront. Okay, let me add. Okay, and the reason it was saying that why it did not edit, because if you set up a Rails application locally, let's say you get a chance. to work on a new project, but the project is already established or already in progress, okay, or in production, then you set up your application, and what's the first thing as a developer you do, that you restart the real server, you look at the request or server logs, and then you go to the controllers and models. So that's why it did not mention the model or controller structure here, okay. But uh, since we flagged that, so it has added. However, this is just optional. If you want to keep this, you can keep. If you want to avoid this, you can avoid, okay. Because the wording the Claude returns that it is obvious that most Rails developer look at the controllers and uh, models, okay. So yeah, this is definitely obvious. So if you want, if you are okay with that, you can keep it, otherwise you can discard it, okay. So let's keep it for now, okay. So you can see it has added, so file and the purpose, so app model user.rb, device auth rate limiting lodging story.rb, and controller stories controller. So everything has been done here, and then turbo convention. Each image prompt card is wrapped in turbo frame tag image prompt and so on. So like I'm just being lazy to read this entire document. I just flagged the points that should be available here, okay. I'm just showing the way, like how we can use the init command from there, okay. Now you can even ask the Claude that what will be the advantage of this Claude.md, okay. So let's say, what will be the advantage of having this Claude.md file, okay. Let's say we are not sure that what will be the advantage, so let's ask the Claude itself that what it is suggesting, okay. So let it finish first, and then we will go through this. So the main advantage is continuity across conversation. Every time you start a new Claude Code session, I begin with zero context about this project, okay. Without Claude.md, I have to rediscover things by reading files, what stakes you are using, how the async flows works, where rate limiting lives, where the turbo conventions are, the cost, time, and token budget on that costs time and token budget on every session, okay. Why? Because if you do not have over technical overview or architectural overview ready for the Claude, then it has to uh, look around the entire project, okay. But since we created a Claude.md file, so whenever it starts a new session, it doesn't have to uh, look at the project or look at the context every time, because it knows what the project already has, and what the tech stack it is doing, what are the key files, what are the main features of the application, and so on, okay. And with Claude.md, I pick up that context immediately, so faster response. I don't need to explore the code base before answering a question or making a change. Fewer mistakes. I'm less likely to say add a JavaScript bundler when you are on import map, or forget to check request remaining when adding a new variable action, because the architecture is spelled out upfront. Consistent conversation conventions. Future sessions will follow the same turbo stream patterns, the same credential access approach, and same job service split that's already established. Onboarding. If another developer or another API tool picks up this repo, Claude.md gives them the same quick orientation. In short, it turns the tribal knowledge about how this specific app is built into something that persists beyond a single conversion. Okay, conversation. So this is the main advantage of having a Claude.md file or a technical or architectural documentation for Claude, okay. And as a developer, what the main thing that we need to focus on, and why this Claude.md file is important for us, is that here you can see that costs time and token budget on every session. So if we have without Claude.md, but if we have Claude.md, then it will save our time, it will save our tokens, okay, because we don't have to provide context every time whenever we start the Claude session, okay. So this is the advantage of having a architectural document ready for the Claude, and we can achieve it through init command. So again, the command is slash init. Okay, and moving further in the course, we will start exploring. We will explore so many Claude commands that will be helpful for us. Okay, but that's it for this lecture. I hope you like this. Follow this, and we will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.